Hello, me lovelies. Well, just a quick video. I say quick, it will go on for ages, no doubt. Once I say I'm going to do a quick video, it never is quick. Anyway, I'm not going to go into big explanation of this because people who know will know. People who don't know, I can assure you, you don't want to know. You're best not knowing. So let's put it this way. This is talk to people who know that's what's been going on recently. Julese has just put up, or last night put up, a community post. Getting sick of all the hate that's going on and all that. And I'm going to respond to this. Why has she suddenly produced this now? Because the whole goddamn lot of them were exposed for what they are last night. See, they've been coming out with hate against me. Well, she says, I'll actually address this. She claims, hey and Cindy, I've never said that themselves. Doesn't matter, they don't have to say it. They've been using an anon account called Jim Smith to come out with the abuse. They've sat there, engaged in talking with him, sat there, listened to the vile hate, abuse against me being intersex, freak of nature, what was it? Oh, I'll get to that when we get to we'll get to that soon. About living on an island, putting us all on an island together. But anyway, last night what happened, the way turned because Jim Smith started slating a female on YouTube who was liked. And Julese, Cindy, and this woman's friend, YouTube friend, who was being all nice and chatty to her that morning, earlier that day, sat there and said nothing. Let her get that abuse. Now this is important because Julese and Cindy tried to raise the defence that I was coming after. I was a man bullying two poor women, two delicate poor women. Well, last night you saw that they're quite happy when Jim Smith, who they use to put their bile out there, without them having to say it, went in on a woman. And they all sat back and said nothing. And that's why this has happened, because the bubble is burst for them now. But let's read it. Getting sick of listening to look at their hate. Not one thing did Cindy and I ever say one thing about a certain person. Now, what she's saying there, and I'm not going to call her for typos because I do that all the time when you're typing. And when you get to a certain age, like me, darlings, you make typos, you don't realise what you do. Anyway, but what she's saying basically is she's sick of listening and looking at my hate. My hate. Now, what I'm doing is I'm fronting them and exposing them for what they are. And this is important, this thing that she keeps on saying. Her and Cindy have never said anything against me being intersex, right? She sat on at a channel, Jim Smith's channel, where he made over 6 hours, 4-hour rants just at me, nothing else, me. Calling me a freak, Teddy Tackle, what was it going on about my anatomy, Are you seeing this? So she's never said it and Cindy have never said it, but these goddesses of caring and love and mama bears have actually sat there and you can tell they're goading it on. They're making it go on, go on. Anyone watch my channel, if anyone comes out with anything, even against someone I don't like, that I consider is hate towards the way they are born, towards their race or anything, I'll pull them. And I'll say that again, and you're getting off. And everyone knows that. Everyone knows that on my channel. These two go on there, listen to it, and get involved in winding them up. So they're handing him the ammunition to fire the bullets. So let's get on with this. So far I've been shamed about my non-existent monthly visits. hysterectomy at 27, then race thing. What race thing? This is confusing me. What race thing did I mention? I'd love to see this. It's like the fancy that I called Phil from Fee Wee Man Speedo. I never called him it. But they imagine that I have. So where this hate thing is, she claims that she's she's Irish, Italian, and my dad was Russian. Darling, I'm half Irish. My mama was Irish. My father's family have Italian in them. French, Swedish. So what? But I'd love you to show me this race thing, I said. See, and going on bigots. You are bigots, there's no doubt about it. You and Cindy are bigots against intersex people. Not only against intersex people, against LGBTQI people, full stop. And I'll tell you why you are. Because you've sat there on a panel and listened to it and you haven't objected once. In a situation like that, I'd say, sorry, I'm off now. I'm not interested in this. Hate speech, I'm not interested in it. And I'd be gone. But you two stayed there for the full 6 hour slog or 4 hour slog or however long his videos were that day. Body shaming us. When have I ever body shamed you? I've never body shamed you. Then my and Cindy's marriage was mocked. Yeah, quite rightly, because you mock your own marriage. You and Cindy mock your own marriages. This was said, you've got Italian in you and Irish in you. I think you'd know one thing if you've got that background in you. You'd know that you never, ever embarrass your partners in public. Your menfolk. You never do that. You never embarrass your menfolk. Because what I was getting at there, right? These are two women that have been talking to Jim Smith for a while. And he used to be smutty with them. Now, these are married women. And he'd be smutty and they'd be like, oh, Jim, you're so naughty, Jim. Oh, my God. That's Cindy, by the way. That's my interpretation of Cindy. Julese is more like B. Arthur with an English accent. But that's what they do. Well, I'm sorry, that's disrespecting your partners. A married woman doesn't engage in and allow a man to talk smut to her. Even in private, never mind in public on a public platform. It's disrespectful to your partner. And why aren't your husband stepping in here and saying, hey, do you mind? That's my wife. And I want my queen treated like what she is, royalty. Not some dirty, talking filth, smut. Maybe I'm old-fashioned, but no, you just don't do it. Anyway, so that's why I said about your marriage. There's something not right there. If you two are talking smut like that to a stranger, and he is a stranger, you don't know who he is. Haters, no hate here for anyone. No, there is, Julese, there is. You keep on avoiding this. You can't get away from it. You are sitting on that panel, quite happy to listen to it and keep on talking to him and keep on mentioning me all the time. So you keep the hate going. We are all God's children. Oh, I don't feel like God's children. Me a freak of nature. That you're happy to sit there hearing being called a freak of nature, being called an it, all that business. I mean, I don't think I'm included in that, am I? Anyway, let's see here. That truce you made never existed because you kept that vid up on Facebook. I forgot it was up on Facebook. Why didn't you just come and tell me, look, Anne, you've still got it up on Facebook, right? Please, can you take it down if there's a truce? I forgot it was up there. But no, what happens, people, is that Jim Smith starts up again and suddenly Cindy jumps in and I see a comment she makes and it makes it obvious that this is kicking off again. So I thought, you want to bring it on? Bring it on. I'm sitting here ready for it. So the truth, they ended it. I didn't. And as you can see, those videos are back up on my YouTube. This video is on my YouTube, and it's not going to be the last one, Julese. Because you two have gone way, way too far. And it's educational. This can be used to educate people on multiple facets about hate and about how things like what happened in Germany and other places happened. And I'll go on to that. Don't forget you also called Chris, this is Chris M, Pip claiming addict. The guy has worked all his life and definitely not an addict. Social media is definitely not an addict. He said he was. Maybe not now, but he said in the past he was. He was hooked up, he was in recovery. So that's a statement of fact. He says he works. He claimed he was working yesterday, didn't he? Not yesterday, the day before. He was flat out. That's odd. Because when he must have an easy job because he was bleeding on I won't say whose live streams, and I've seen him commenting. You're too trusting, Julese. You shouldn't believe everything anyone says. But yeah, I thought he was a nice guy. Until I saw that he was cozying up to people, being all nice. He was even being nice to me at one point. And then the same night going out onto gyms, dissing me for everything. Dissing me for absolutely everything. And this is where this woman who was getting bullied by Jim last night comes into it. Because Chris is so pissed now because he's been found out what he's really like. Talking in the morning to her like she's lovely. Oh, what a good person. Then sitting back and letting Jim rip her to shreds the same night. And that's where me and the likes of Chris M are different, right? Because people know I like Humble Dryer and Donald Humble, and they know I like motorsports buggies. So if anyone comes on dissing them or trying to slag them off, I always say to them, go somewhere else and do it. I'm not interested. You're not doing it on my channel. That's because I'm loyal to people I like. I'm loyal to them. I won't have them dissed on my channel. I like Narrative Destroyer. I think he's absolutely brilliant. But he knows not to go on about the Humbles on my channel because he knows I'll come to defense. If someone starts slagging off on my channel, Narrative Destroyer, I'll defend him. That's the way I work. That's because I was brought up to be loyal to people, unlike Chris M. Or you lot, actually, because none of you stood up for her. None of you stood up for her. And that's what Chris does. He's two-faced. He's your typical hypocrite. Nice to your face, then nasty away from you. At least when I've got something to say, Julese and Cindy, I say it. And I don't use someone else to say it. I say it. And that's where me and you and your friends and all of you are different. And don't forget, it's a whole channel coming at me. I'm defending myself. If you ever seen anyone see me make a video where I've got all my subs coming on attacking, those know I haven't. I stand up for myself. I stand on my own feet. I don't need to gang up on someone, but let's get on with it. But then you went to say further and accused someone of being a speedo. No, I didn't. Still said this. Find where I called Phil a speedo. Find where I said he was a speedo. Never did. He's offered 10,000 and no one can find this. Strange enough, isn't it? And you've been twisting this and playing on it and twisting it. Well, guess what? I've been called speedo. I think everyone on YouTube has been called speedo. But Phil goes absolutely loopy-loo over it, going mad. And people are saying to me now, what's he going on about? Why is this triggering him? He's putting it out there, not me. He's putting it out there. That's where he's been accused of. And he wants to be careful. Because I've said, I put a post out saying, no, I don't believe he is. I've said that. I've got no evidence he is. I've made that clear, but he's the one that's still putting out there. And if he's not careful, he'll get his ass seriously burnt by doing that. Because he's putting it out there, not me. So, go figure. With things like that, you best say, oh, it's just YouTube. Forget it, forget it, forget it. Because if you piss someone off, they're going to run right to that. And not handy as well, Phil, to go making videos saying, oh, this is where a Speedo lives. It can be twisted right round by someone if they want to. Not me, I'm not interested, right? I'm not interested in you, mate. But if you piss someone off, they can turn that right round and say that you're admitting to being one. So be very careful. And here we go, right? Then today you hit even lower towards me. You brought my dad, an ex-World War II vet who was in a concentration camp, into it. Spew, angry face, praise and all that. My dad. No, you brought your dad into it. You brought your dad into it, Jules. Julese, right? You did. How would I know that your dad was in a concentration camp? Because when you were on Jim's channel, for some reason I couldn't work out at first, you blasted out, my dad was in a concentration camp. Why? I worked out later, because you're being accused of being a bigot, because you're allowing this hate speech to go on. You're not challenging it and you're sitting there listening to it. So you thought that would cover your ass, right? But as I pointed out, right, it was people in World War II who did exactly what you do and Cindy do, who heard hate going on. Look, concentration camps didn't happen overnight. It was a gradual build-up to it. Kristallnacht didn't happen overnight. There was a gradual build-up to it. People should have been able to see it was coming. And why was it allowed to happen? Because very few, only a very brave people stood up and said, no, this is wrong. This is wrong. If people had stood up and said that at the time, enough people, guess what? Those concentration camps would never have existed. Right? And what I was saying to you, by you going on there and getting you sitting on in a platform that is all hate against intersex people, and don't give me this rubbish that you don't hate intersex people, Jim, because you're talking about my being intersex and referring to me as being a freak of nature and an it for being intersex. So that means anyone that is intersex is a freak of nature and an it. So don't make out it's just me you're annoyed with. Or tell me what, Julese, you know when you get upset with someone that's not white, say the black, do you go throwing the N-word at them? And then say, oh, it's not that I don't like black people, it's just you I don't like. Do you do that? Or would you accept that? So there, you brought your papa into it, I didn't. A truly amazing man that was loved by everyone that knew him, taught me to never lie. Nearly failed in that, didn't he? Or bow to no one and never let anyone steal my sunshine. So you stay in the shade. If you call that sunshine, sweetheart, I'd hate to see what a damp, horrible, bleeding, misty, shitty, rainy day is in your world. Where hate belongs, dear. No, you're the biggest. So there we go. I could read out the reply she's getting to this, but I can't be bothered. But let's put it in. Let's do the conclusion to this and sum it up. One, last night your bubble burst because when you screamed about me, a man, coming at you, poor defensive women who were in a whole channel with a whole host of people, getting at me, one person on my own, you sat there and let Jim diss a woman who had done nothing to him or any of you. Nothing. And your bubble burst and showed you up for what you were then. That's your problem, sweetheart, not mine. But anyway, you carry on with what you're doing. Because one thing is, it's out there now. And I can assure you, it will always be out there. as an example to people of how hate starts and how bigotry starts and how you can end up with situations like what happened in World War II, when good people stand there and say nothing. But again, Julese, I wouldn't put you under the category or Cindy as good people. So I'll leave her at that, my lovelies. Bye bye for now. Why not consider supporting this channel by becoming a member and gaining access to various perks? 3 levels of membership are available starting from £2.99 per month. Lovely. Oh, darling. And super duper. You can find the join button below the title of each video.